Hi, I'm Coleen and welcome to the Block of the Month with my friends Practically Creative and Sylvia, you and me, FPP, and together we are the Dynamic Trio. I already did the turkey part and I thought I'd share the leaf part because I butchered the leaf part. You can see highlighted, I should have done the left section of this one, then the right section, then put them together. Same with the lower, do the left section, then the right section, and put them together, and then put the top section and the lower section together. That's not even close to what I did. Not even close. What I did was take section E when I finished it and section L when I finished it and put them together for no good reason. And I didn't want to take it apart after that, so I did Y seams. I did a lot of Y seams. If you're interested in seeing me do Y seams, you are at the right place. And if you're interested in this pattern, there should be a link below to Sylvia at You and Me FPP. You can email her. She sells patterns. And she is a FPP teacher. She does a great job if you need help with an FPP. So I'm just putting my pieces together as usual, and you'll notice that I don't have a B, C, or D because those were the outer edges that I decided not to use. I decided this leaf by itself without the border or sashing, whatever you want to call it, was just the right size for what I wanted, so I didn't put those pieces on. I am lining up my edges, back stitching, going across the line. I should have back stitched again. Didn't look like I did it? Clearly, I don't know how to follow basic rules or suggestions. There's suggestions for a reason. I am cutting off a quarter inch away from the line for the piece, so I have my seam allowance. And when you do this, the pretty sides of the fabric are together, just like normal. Pretty sides, right sides together. Trimming this edge too. There's going to be a lot of music here in just a few minutes. I messed it up so much. But it still works. It still worked because I know how to do Y seams. I wish I knew who to thank for that. I thought it was Sylvia. Sylvia says not me. I know she showed me them. I must have picked up something from someone else too, though. And in the upper left-hand side of your screen, you'll see each piece that I'm adding circled, and that is the piece added to the prior pieces each time. Those this time are in the right order. Can't do everything right. If I didn't mess up, I would not be as interesting to watch or listen to. When I separated my pictures to put them up in the screen, I did it thinking that I was going to do them in the right order, and no, I just left them there though, so you could still see what I was doing and what order I was doing them in. And I'm cutting away from my paper. I have the quarter inch line on the outside of every piece. And this looks complicated, but it's just one piece at a time, just like that. You do one piece number, whatever it is, ABC, or in this case, I think that was F. Maybe that's E. Yeah, that's E. E1, E2, E3, so you just do them in order. That's all there is to it. And I have them face down as I'm doing them. Then I turn them face up on my design board as I finish each section. And I don't use the add a quarter inch ruler because I need to get a shorter one, and then maybe I'd use it more because I have used it. But the 12-inch one is just too long, and I want the pink 6-inch one. Yes, it's because I'm spoiled. That's the one I want. I'm not going to get one until I get that. So, and remember to shorten your stitch length down to my machine only has 1.4 or 1.6. I use 1.6 because 1.4 will make them come off, the papers come off faster. And something I'm going to share with you guys that I'm going to try, it may be next year before I get around to trying it, because I have other things I want to get before I try this. I was watching YouTube videos on thread and what they're used for, what weights are used for what, and I saw that using 100 weight in your top thread and 80 weight in your bobbin thread with a, I can't remember the numbers, it's a 10 something needle, I think the US is 10. I wish I could remember that number now, but anyway, a size 10 needle, which is smaller, will make your seams lie. You know what I mean. Will make your seams lie better. And when you're doing something bulky like all these Y seams that I met at the same place, that would have helped just a little bit in theory. I don't know because I haven't tried it yet. But that's something I want to try, and my friends are like, I use whatever thread works. Usually I think 50, 40, same thing I generally use. The higher the number on the thread, the thinner the thread. I also want to try thicker thread for quilting. I love the big thread, big stitch look in quilts because it reminds me of hand stitched quilts, I'm sure. My phone keeps going off. I thought I muted it. Ain't fixing that. Okay, and this was my first mistake. I probably should have done each section and put it down. Yep, this was the first one, and you can see, clearly I'm going to have to do a Y. But what I should have done is I should have done each section, lettered section, and then set them down on my design board. Then re-looked at the pattern to see what order made the most sense. Because I knew there was no Y seams in this. So what did I do? Yeah, I had it. And why did I do that? Y'all know why I did that. This looks too easy. Let's make it more difficult. Oh, but I thought this, I know I messed up, but I thought maybe this would inspire somebody anyway for FPP. And this, I would say, I would call it advanced. Really, you do one piece at a time, so I don't know. As long as you're doing one piece at a time, you're going to be fine. Even for advanced. I'll tell you, my friend Sylvia made a emu FPP and gave it to me, and I hadn't done anything that complicated. Oh my goodness, that stressed me right out. And she's like, no, it's not hard. It's not hard. Just do one piece. Just do one piece. She was a great cheerleader. I never would have got through that. But I did it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. I didn't have faith in me, but she did. And she is a very good teacher. So you see that most of these pieces I'm using are crumbs. You know, we pay for the whole piece of fabric. We want to use as much of that fabric as possible. Well, some of us do. Some of us don't, and that's okay. You do you, and I will continue to do me, being, frugal. There's nothing wrong with any way. Whatever way works for you is the right way. Who was I watching? I was watching one of our friends, and they were great about mentioning that, and I was like, that's right. And okay, I'll tell you who it is now, because I'm going to tell a story. It was Lisa Capon. I was watching Lisa Capon this weekend because I'm doing the voiceover on a weekend, and watching her and my friend Melissa, Practically Creative. And Lisa Capon is the Quilting Homestead, I think is what her channel is called now. I think. Anyway, I'll try to put a link or something. Watching her and Melissa and those two cheering you on, you can't not do applique and embroidery. They're confidence builders. They really are. And if you're looking for people for applique and embroidery have a lot in common, actually. You should check them out. And this is my messed up lower half. I took a break after that for weeks because I make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes my brain is done. It's like, okay, that's one too many for today. And it's okay. I set it aside for weeks. I have drawer units that I have for things that are in progress also, like the plastic 12 by 12 scrapbook things that a lot of people use. I know, I'm pretty sure I've seen Pat Sloan use them. Which, if you are looking for organization, tidying encouragement, for your sewing space specifically, Pat Sloan is awesome. And I love my big tidy up for all other things. Decluttering, organizing. Okay, my commercials are there. No, but these are people I watch that inspire me. And another one that I have not gave enough credit to, because okay, this is just going to be story time, because I'm clearly I've already messed this up. I watched a lady when we moved into our house about 9 years ago. I wasn't watching YouTube that much, but I started watching YouTube, and the first lady I came across that was doing some of the things in her home that I wanted to do in our new home was My Great Challenge with Sophia. It's just, the channel name is just My Great Challenge, and I'll try to remember to put a link to her too. She was doing all the things, and she kept saying, we can do this, we can do this. I used to work at a transmission place where we tore down and put together transmissions. I can do that. I can figure anything out. I was just afraid to mess it up. Once you put a hole in drywall, you can patch it. And she said that she looked up stuff online to refinish, I think it was her floor, and she's redone her bedroom, and she's just doing all those things that I needed to do. I needed to paint, I needed to do all these things. They're very hard on me, so it took me forever. And then I saw her quilting. Yes, this is where it leads into the quilting. I saw her, she was quilting, and she was sewing a top or a dress. And that didn't interest me so much at the time because I wasn't doing that. But it made her so happy. It made her so happy, just like her things. She's been decluttering over the years, little bit at a time. As she realizes she wants to get rid of more, she does. But the things she has makes her happy. And I love that. She was happy with how she was tending her house, and that's what her great challenge is. But she was making quilt tops, and I was like, oh, I've always wanted to do that. And then COVID hit, which I'm not sure if I get in trouble for saying that word or not anymore, but anyway, that hit, and I saw her making masks. Now, I don't think she did a thorough tutorial, I can't remember, but I was like, okay, that looks easy. I have a sewing machine. I know how to get it going. I need to make some, so my mother-in-law sent me a link to the fabric patch, which is how I found them. And that's basically where I got the tutorial for mask making. And then I went back and I watched Sophia's quilting because I was like, okay, I've got my machine out. I've got thread in it. I kind of understand the basics. I wonder if I can try this. And my sister-in-law had gave me some fabrics that she wasn't using. It was part of a set, you know, all the same line. She's got like 4 or 5 of them. I think it was from Hobby Lobby many years ago. And she wasn't using them. And she told me she gave them to me because I'm the only one that sews. So she, well, besides my mother-in-law. And I was like, you know what? These match. I don't have to go find fabric that matches each other. I'm going to see what I can do. So I watched Sophia, I watched the fabric patch, and I think I found Pat Sloan after that. And that's where I got the encouragement to start quilting. And I thought that was just awesome. And I still watch Sophia, by the way. But why I brought her up in the first place was, of course, quilting related. I, early on, after 1 year of sewing, 1 year, and that's the year I did masks. So, and I tried quilting. I was by no means any good at it at all, but I wanted to do it. She was doing a Pat Sloan, Sweet Dreams, block of the month, sew along. And I made some of those, and I wanted to participate in that, and then things went sideways, and there's other things, you know, my friends were doing that I really felt like I wanted to do things with them because that they're, you know, we interact constantly, and I don't interact with a lot of people at that time, so I wanted to do things with them. I was so overwhelmed. I don't remember how many blocks I did, and then I stopped, and I was completely ashamed of myself because I had failed at keeping up with this quilt block of the month. And I was trying to do it with 2 people I very much admire, Sophia and Pat Sloan. And so I stopped. I stopped watching because I felt bad that I had failed. And how ridiculous is that? How ridiculous is that? And nobody made me feel that way but me. That was all me. And I wanted to tell you, don't feel that way. Sometimes you start sew-alongs and they don't work out for your time, they don't work out for your brain, they just don't work out for whatever reason. Quilt-alongs, and yeah, you have half-done projects, throw them in something. You've seen me do this, just get a bunch of blocks and put it in something. Make a bag out of it, make a pillow out of it, make, you know, whatever. Mug rugs are great. You don't have to do what they did with theirs. And after that, I saw Lisa Capen do a sew-along, and I was like, okay, I know for me, I don't want to do all the quilt blocks. It was a quilt-along. I get those 2 words mixed up, interchangeable, you know, it's okay. But I saw her do a quilt block that I wanted to do. For some reason, I just wanted to do this quilt block. So I did, but I only did one. And that made me very happy, and it didn't offend anybody. And I was like, wow, yay. Now, it's always nice to have people participate with you when you're doing a sew-along. It's always nice. But we all, I think, understand. After a while, anyway, if we don't right off the bat, it's okay to stop something that's not feeding your heart. It's okay. And nobody is going to fault you for that. Did you hear me? You don't have to do it all. Don't take the fun out of what you're doing, because I did. I took the fun out of it. And by the way, I recently caught back up on Sophia because, you know, I was at my mom and dad's majority of the end of last year, first of this year, and she did an applique dragonfly that was stunning. It's a wall hanging. She had the pattern. She has links on her videos. So look at that. I have almost finished and done all my white seams on this and talked for what, a half hour probably? No, 20 minutes. Seriously, this needs some music. But you know, I've always wanted to be the encouraging person. I always, you know what I say, be the light you want to see in others. And that includes encouraging other people and not making anyone feel bad for, you know, not doing it the way you're doing it. So I hear there's, quilt police freak out over some things. What I would say is please don't watch my channel if you are quilt police. I mean, unless you're really desperate to criticize. Because I'm doing what works for me. And I have some disabilities I have to work around. As a matter of fact, had I not sped this up to 5 times, you would have seen my hands just shaking like a leaf. And that's how it is. I work around it. It affects the time I can work and stuff like that, but I can work around it. And that might bug somebody that I shake all the time. Well, no. Tell you what, if they're nice people, it doesn't. Because we understand we all have things that we're trying to work around, I think. And if you don't, yay, I am happy for you. And I mean that genuinely. I've had coffee this morning, but my voice just isn't awake yet. I don't sound like I'm being genuine when I say that, but I am. I am happy for people who are doing things the way they want to, the way they can. I look at me and my friend Sylvia, and Melissa. We don't do things alike, and that's what's great about this block of the month. We just get a prompt and each of us run with it and do whatever our minds want to do with it. And it's fun for your creativeness and to see the others' creativeness, to give you ideas, because then you're like, oh, I have to try that. I'd like to try that. And get a to-do list. Put your ideas down on a to-do list, or if a creativity list, let's call it that. Some people very much hate to-do lists. I like to-do lists. They help me get through things. A creativity list. Write down what it is you're wanting to do. Maybe not keep it all in your head so it's overwhelming your head. I really can only speak for me, and that's exactly what it does to me. In fact, it was doing that this weekend. I told my girlfriends, I was like, I'm suddenly feeling overwhelmed and anxious. I need to get my to-do list and start writing things down. And it worked. My mind settled down once I got a pen and paper in my hand. And I like old school. I like the pen and paper. I like being able to scratch it off. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this non-tutorial. Just, make and do with the lemon that I made. And you have a good day and a good week, and it was close to the holidays at the time of me recording this, so I'm going to say Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and I hope you join us for next year's Block of the Month prompts. We're going to do it again, and well, if it's not Thanksgiving already, we're going to do a holiday hop, our 3rd annual. Melissa, Sylvia, myself, and Dawn over at My Quilt Projects. See what all of us come up with. And the theme is vintage. I am not good at vintage, just so you know. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for checking out my channel. Thank you for sticking around if you have, Thumbs up are always welcome. And don't miss my lives. Right now they're on Tuesdays. I may have to change that in the future. If you've been following the Dynamic Trio Block of the Month that I've been catching up on since July, I am only a couple blocks behind. The Sunbonnet Sue, and the Easter Lily blocks, and this is what I have done for November. And my plan for them is this. That's what I'm hoping to do with them. I hope you found some inspiration or some new channels. Always be the light you hope to see in others. Take care.